The year is 1943. The world is at war, and Hollywood is doing its part. Every night, the Hollywood canteen is packed with thousands of young men in uniform, looking for a moment of distraction, a glimpse of the magic they're fighting for. But for Charles Chaplin, the undisputed king of silent comedy, the magic is gone. He's here, on stage, his face painted with that familiar mustached grin, but inside, he's a ghost. The world sees the comedic genius, the man who brought laughter to a planet at its darkest hour. They don't see the man who is being torn apart by political accusations, a series of humiliating personal scandals, and a profound, bone-deep loneliness. He feels like a fraud, a sad clown with a hollow heart. Tonight he's performing for over 20,000 soldiers and factory workers at an outdoor event, a massive show of patriotism. The energy is electric. They roar for him, for the little tramp, for the man who is a living symbol of hope. Chaplin takes a bow, a perfect practiced motion. But as he straightens up, his eyes catch something in the chaos of the crowd. A young woman, maybe 19 or 20, dressed in a faded, ill-fitting cleaning uniform. She is standing at the edge of the audience, almost invisible in the shadows. Everyone else is cheering, laughing, their faces turned up to him like sunflowers, but her head is bowed. She is quietly mopping the floor, her movements methodical and slow, as if she's a million miles away. Chaplin feels a strange pull, a sense of recognition he can't explain. He sees her, and for a fleeting second, he sees himself, a forgotten orphan mopping floors for pennies in the London slums. Just as the band strikes up a tune for his next sketch, a voice rips through the roar of the crowd like a bullet. "Chaplin, you're a fake!" The voice is slurred, thick with alcohol and rage. A large, hulking soldier, his uniform askew, is pushing his way toward the front, shouting at the top of his lungs. "A coward, a socialist coward living in your mansion while we fight your wars." A collective gasp goes through the crowd. This is not a harmless heckler. This is a direct political challenge. The air freezes. The band stops. 20,000 pairs of eyes turn from Chaplin to the soldier. Chaplin's first instinct is a flash of white-hot fury. He is Charles Chaplin. He has the power to destroy this man with a single word. His mind races, searching for a biting, witty retort that will humiliate this soldier and earn a thunderous round of applause. But then he remembers the young woman in the shadows. He looks at her again, and she is still there, her head still bowed, her presence a silent challenge to his power. The anger drains out of him, replaced by a strange curiosity. The pain in the soldier's voice wasn't just anger. It was something else. Something deep and broken. What could possibly drive a man to scream such hatred in front of 20,000 people? Who is this man? Why does his rage feel so familiar, so personal? What secret does this soldier carry that has shattered him so completely? We have to know. Subscribe now and join our quest to uncover the truth behind Hollywood's most scandalous stories. Chaplin steps forward, the silence of the crowd so heavy you could cut it with a knife. He holds up a hand, stopping the security guards who are already moving to remove the soldier. "Let him speak." Chaplin says into his microphone, his voice calm, cutting through the tension. "Come on up here, son." The crowd erupts in a mix of confused murmurs and shouts of encouragement. The soldier, stunned by the invitation, stumbles onto the stage. He is a mess of contradictions, a strong young man shaking with a tremor of pure distilled grief. "You think this is a joke?" the soldier yells, his voice cracking. "You think my pain is a joke? I saw you in the news. You live in a palace, a king. My brother died in a foxhole in Sicily, and all I have is a letter. I wanted to see if you had any guts, if you knew what real pain was." The words hit Chaplin like a physical blow. The shame, the loneliness, the pain he has been hiding for years suddenly feels exposed. He stands face to face with this broken man, and for the first time in a long time, he is speechless. He can't respond with a joke or a graceful waltz. This is real. The soldier, seeing Chaplin's silence, spits out his final challenge. "Let's fight. Right here. Let's see who the real man is." The crowd, a mob now, roars its approval. They want a spectacle, a public humiliation. But Chaplin, looking at the man, sees not an enemy, but a mirror of his own suffering. He notices the soldier's hands are trembling, not with anger, but with a profound, unexpressed sadness. Chaplin holds up a hand again. "We won't fight," he says, his voice soft but firm. "That's what boys do. We'll do something else. You want to see if I'm a real man? Then let's have a battle of a different kind. A duel of courage." The crowd goes silent, confused. The soldier, now wary, lowers his fists. "What are you talking about?" he asks. "A duel of silent bravery," Chaplin says, a strange fire in his eyes. "A contest of pantomime. We will each tell a story without words. The crowd will decide who has the stronger heart." The soldier, too drunk and confused to refuse, accepts. He steps forward and tries to mimic Chaplin's comedic style. His movements are clumsy, his face contorted in a grotesque, forced smile. He tries to be funny, but he is just pathetic. The crowd, which had wanted to see him humiliated, now feels a wave of pity and awkwardness. The soldier looks around, lost and embarrassed. He is failing. The silence is deafening. Then a figure from the shadows moves. It's the young cleaning woman. She steps closer to the edge of the stage, still unseen by most of the audience. She looks at the soldier, and then she mouths a single word, a word only Chaplin can see. He looks at her, then back at the soldier, and his own heart clenches with understanding. The word she mouthed wasn't a suggestion for a joke. It was a single painful truth. And now the best is yet to come. Chaplin, a mischievous glint in his eye, takes center stage. He gestures to the soldier to stand beside him. The soldier, still bewildered, complies. Chaplin begins a new pantomime, not a comedy, but a devastatingly beautiful and sad performance. He mimes a man receiving a telegram, his hands trembling. He acts out reading a letter, his face crumpling in quiet despair. He turns to the soldier and mimes a funeral, placing a single invisible flower on an imaginary casket. The soldier, watching Chaplin, realizes what he's doing. He's not mocking his pain. He's showing him that he understands. The young cleaning woman, still in the shadows, gives a small, knowing nod. She knows this performance isn't for the crowd. It's for the soldier. It's for Chaplin. And then she does something that changes everything. She steps forward into the light and reveals a small wooden carving she was holding. It's a tiny, perfectly carved tramp with the unmistakable hat and cane. It's a tribute. The soldier's eyes widen as he sees it, and Chaplin's heart breaks. This young woman, this silent, invisible cleaner, saw the man behind the mask. She saw the artist, the lonely boy, not the untouchable star. The soldier, seeing the carving, looks at Chaplin with a new understanding. This isn't a fight, it's a moment of connection. Chaplin steps back, inviting the soldier to join him in the silent play. The soldier, no longer angry, but vulnerable, follows Chaplin's lead. He mimes writing a letter, his hands shaking with grief. He acts out a memory of his brother, a painful, beautiful recollection. The crowd watches in stunned silence. They came for a fight, for a joke, but they got a funeral, a raw, emotional testament to human loss. The soldier's performance is not perfect, but it is real. It is a man showing his broken heart to the world, without words, just as Chaplin did. The young cleaning woman walks up to the stage, puts the little carved tramp next to the microphone, and whispers to the soldier. The soldier, hearing her words, looks at Chaplin, and then something in his face changes. He understands. The secret that the cleaner shared with him and with Chaplin is revealed. She lost her brother in the same battle as the soldiers, and her quiet dignity, her silent grief, was a testament to the fact that pain is universal. She wasn't cleaning the stage, she was honoring it. Chaplin, seeing the soldier's eyes, filled with tears, understands that the power he sought wasn't in applause or fame, but in the simple act of acknowledging another person's pain. He understands that the very art he felt was hollow was the one thing that could bridge the chasm between two broken souls. He realizes that the loneliness he'd been living with was a self-imposed prison. The real world, the real connection, was here, in this moment of shared vulnerability. The final act is not a joke, it is an embrace. Chaplin, without saying a word, puts his arm around the soldier. The soldier, no longer belligerent, leans into him, and for the first time that night, he cries. The 20,000 people in the audience, who had been ready to cheer on a fight, are now completely silent. Then one person begins to clap, then another, and soon the entire venue is on its feet, not for the comedy, but for the profound humanity they just witnessed. Chaplin, still holding the soldier, looks out at the faces in the crowd. He sees not fans, but people. People who have also lost something, who are also fighting their own battles. He sees the young cleaning woman standing near the back, her head finally held high. She gives him a small, genuine smile. That night, Chaplin didn't just win a verbal duel. He found something he had lost years ago, a connection to his own humanity. He realized his art wasn't just about making people laugh, it was about healing. It was a tool to show people that no matter how alone they feel, they are not. The story of that night would become a legend in Hollywood, a tale passed down about the moment Charles Chaplin showed the world what true courage was. It wasn't in fighting your enemies. It was in finding your common humanity, in seeing the pain behind the anger, and in using your greatest gifts not to entertain, but to heal. He began to incorporate more serious themes into his work, using his platform to speak out for those without a voice, a direct result of that night's encounter. The soldier, no longer an angry drunk, went on to find purpose in his life, often telling the story of the man who saved him not with a punch, but with a pantomime, and the young cleaner, the silent catalyst, would remain an anonymous angel, a symbol of the profound wisdom that can be found in the most unexpected of places. This incredible story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the greatest acts of bravery are not in fighting, but in showing compassion. If this story moved you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more tales of untold humanity. What part of the story touched you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to ring that notification bell.